guys, welcome back to Rubberboots. Today I have a really fun video for you guys. I want to share my fall favorites. So these are things that I've been loving this fall. Everything from my favorite tea to what I've been cooking for dinner to what I've been wearing. I'm going to share it all today. So let's start with this tea. I feel like as soon as the cold weather hits, all of a sudden I go from having, a tea a day to all of a sudden wanting to have a tea in my hands at all times. I mostly just drink black tea, just plain black tea, but once in a while I like to have a chai tea. And when I discovered this chai tea, wow. Like if you like chai tea, this one is so strong smelling that even my husband's like, I was gonna have coffee, but now that I smelled your tea, I might just have tea. It's absolutely fantastic. If you like chai tea, buy this Stash chai tea. It's amazing. So the recipe I'm going to share with you is not just my favorite, it's my husband's favorite. And this is kind of a newer recipe that I've started doing, and I kind of started doing it because I had so many tomatoes in my garden that it seemed like a great way to use up tomatoes. And when I made it, we realized it was super delicious, and so now it doesn't matter if I have tomatoes in the garden or not, it's definitely something that we like to eat on a regular basis. So step one is roasting your tomatoes. I recommend little cherry tomatoes, but you can totally use tomatoes like this. These are from the garden. You can see got some troubles with them, but I want to use them up in, the fastest way possible, so this is a good way to use those up. And you will also need an onion. The other nice thing about the cherry tomatoes is you don't have to cut them, so you can just throw them on the pan and cut up your onion and you're good to go. So once you have those tomatoes and onions all chopped up, I'm just going to drizzle on a bit of olive oil, add some salt and pepper, and pop them in the oven at 350. So I'm doing a vegetarian version of this meal, but if you wanted to add meat, frying up some chicken is fantastic with this. Otherwise, you can even throw on frozen meatballs on your tray when you're roasting your tomatoes, and then it'll all be done in like one go, and that also tastes really good. Next up is to cook your pasta. I like to use something like this, like a linguine or a fettuccine. And then add fresh basil. I feel like this is what makes the flavor amazing. When those noodles come out, you're going to want to drizzle them with some olive oil. And when your tomatoes are nice and fragrant and soft and your onions are fully cooked, you'll want to take those out of the oven and then just combine it all together. So your tomatoes, your pasta, your basil, and a generous helping of shredded cheese. So there you have it. I've combined the tomatoes with the noodles and the fresh basil. I've thrown in quite a bit of cheese because that makes it delicious. And when we eat it, we're going to top it with breadcrumbs. Let's talk current favorite snack. Okay, this is a new one for me. My parents actually bought this for us, and they are super addictive. And that is these Popcorners chips. This is the kettle corn variety, so it's like sweet and salty. And this is what they look like. They are super addictive. You have one and you're like, oh yeah, those are pretty good. And then before you know it, you've consumed half a bag. I mean, I wouldn't do that, but it just saying. Somebody might have consumed half a bag. Gonna eat some of those. So I'm sure it's of no surprise to you if I tell you that this season of life has been all about comfort and ease. I have a 4-month-old baby and a 2-year-old, and life is busy and chaotic, and anything that I can use or do to make things simpler or more comfortable is what is my favorites right now. I think it makes sense, right? So I thought I would share with you the t-shirts that I've been wearing. I've shared these before, but this is what I've been mostly living in, and that is the Old Navy Luxe t-shirts. So I've worn these already in the summer. I wore these postpartum right after I had the baby, and I've continued to wear them in the fall. I have a couple of them. This is my black one here. It's just a really nice fit. That nice rounded hem and a nice a little almost thicker material of a real nice stretch and flowiness to it, so it's not clingy. And depending how tall you are, you could probably get away with wearing this with a pair of leggings because they are on the longer side. Or I think they also have talls if you want them like that. But yeah, if you're a mom and you want comfy t-shirts and long sleeve shirts, that's the way to go. So if I'm being honest, I have not had a lot of time to read books, but I have read this one book, and that is Love Without Borders, and that's by Angela Braniff. If you don't watch her channel, it's called This Gathered Nest, and I really enjoy it, so it's probably worth checking out. But this is her story of adoption, infertility, how she got to be where she is, really, and how she started off with really wanting the traditional 2 kids house in the suburbs, and how God really changed where she was headed and opened up different doors, and as she walked through them, how things opened up and changed for her. It's a really interesting book, and her story is really nice, and so I recommend that. I got it for Mother's Day, but you know, with kids, it took me a long time to read it, so it was more this summer/early fall that I was reading this book. So I'm not sure if this is the most exciting product, but I want to share with you some of the products that I've been using and loving. So one of them is L'Oreal Revitalift cream for your face, and it has SPF 25 in it, and doesn't leave your skin feeling too greasy. I'll show you what it looks like. It's just it looks a bit like a sunscreen. It's not strong smelling, and it just is exactly what I need for my skin. My skin is dry / maybe combination, but leaning more towards dry as I get older, and I like to use an SPF. I don't use it every day. I intend to use it every day, but I probably end up using it about every other day. But I definitely recommend this product here. I also don't always have time to wash my hair. Surprise, surprise, as a mom. And so this dry shampoo is my saving grace at the moment. It does leave a slight white residue when you first spray it in that you kind of have to brush out, but it works really good, it smells good, and you don't need a lot of it. I've also been trying to get away from more harsh chemicals and try to wear things that are a little bit more natural, especially with breastfeeding a baby. This deodorant here I picked up just a couple months ago. It's Tom's, and this is the coconut lavender. I will say that it almost has a little bit of a licorice smell. Maybe that's weird, but it always kind of makes me think of that when I wear it. I'm always like, is that licorice? So I would say the scent is a little bit strange. It's not bad, it's just, I don't think it smells like coconut lavender, even though that's what they're advertising it as. But for the rest, I've been pretty happy with it. It's like not a dry one. It's like the wet kind of deodorant. So it does feel like a little bit wet when you first put it on. It's not like your typical dry ones, but it dries pretty fast and it seems to work. So I'm trying that out, and so far I've been happy with it. So guys, that is my favorites for fall. I'll probably do another one of these in the winter if you guys enjoy this. Let me know in the comments below, what are your favorites? What are things you're loving, especially things that are simplifying your life or are good for this season of motherhood. And if you enjoyed this and you have not subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would subscribe and join the community here. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!